solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Do you want the hearing assist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure I hear what
Yes.
being said.
Is that good?
I think so. I'm sorry.
And then you can move the microphone. It's easier to move that than that heavy chair. So you can move that closer to your mouth so the jury can hear you.
Okay.
And we'll start by having you tell us your full name and spelling your last, please.
Sandra Stermer, Stermer.
Thank you. Ms.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Stermer, did you know Todd Stermer?
Yes,
How did you know Todd?
he was my son.
And do you know Linda Stermer?
Yes,
And how do you know her?
she was my daughter-in-law.
And how long were Todd and Linda married?
I think 13 years.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I have you move your microphone down a little bit? There you go.
Better? Okay. I think 13 years. They were together longer than that.
Do you know how long they were together before they got married?
Well, they had 2 kids. Trace, so a couple of years, 2. Trace might have been 2 or 3 when they got married.
A couple of years, and then they were married about 13.
Yeah.
And what was your relationship with Linda like during the marriage?
It was okay.
What was your relationship like with your son?
It was great. He was a good son. I loved him.
Had you been to their house, the new house that they built on County Road 215?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not hearing very good here. What was it?
Had you been to their house that they were building on County Road
Oh, yes.
215? Many times?
Yes.
And at the time of the fire, can you describe to the jury kind of what the state of the house was, or?
It was still a work in progress, but the chimney was done, bedrooms, it was very livable. Nice kitchen.
Did they have floor coverings? Like carpet and?
I don't think there was any carpet. I think it was just wood floor, but I won't swear to that. It's been a long time.
A lot of years. So who was building the house?
Todd was, he'd get help when he needed help, and his brother helped him quite a bit, a lot of friends. He had a lot of friends.
Had he built things before in the past?
What now?
Had he done building or remodeling in the past?
Yes, he was very, very handy. Could figure out most any kind of carpenter work, plumbing, electrical. He'd worked with an electrical contractor at one part where he was in an internship for quite a while. I was hoping maybe he'd stick with that, but he likes his independence. So
you said he built most of the house himself, but then contracted out other parts?
yeah, there was parts of it that was contracted out. Yes.
Do you know who was living in the home at the time of the fire?
Todd, Linda, Trevor, Trenton, and Corey.
And who are Trevor, Trenton, and Corey?
Trevor and Trenton are Linda and Todd's sons, and Corey is Linda's nephew.
And did Todd treat Corey as a nephew,
Corey,
or?
No, he treated him like a son. He was a son to him. And we figure he's my grandson. I mean, I don't normally even say anything different except Todd's 3 sons.
And had Todd and Linda raised Corey from a young age?
2. He was only like 2 with me. So
Todd died on January 7th of 2007, right?
yes,
And when did you see him last prior to the fire?
the Friday before.
So that was on a Sunday, so you saw him the Friday before? And what happened on that Friday?
Well, my other son had given me $100 gift card to go to Red Lobster, so I invited Todd and the boys to come in. It was going to start school the next week, and I said if they came in, I'd buy them lunch or Brad would buy us all lunch at Red Lobster, and so they did, and we had a nice lunch and good time. They were in good moods.
So you had the 3 boys and you and Todd?
Yes.
Anyone else?
Linda was working, so she wouldn't have been excluded if she'd have been.
And what was Todd, you said everybody had a good time?
Yes, we did. He had been to a doctor earlier in the day for an ear infection. And so the boys drove in, and then he came after his appointment. And that was it. We just chatted and talked, beginning of school and whatever was what happened.
What was Todd's mood?
Todd was in a very good mood that day.
In spite of the ear infection?
Yeah, he was. I remember him smiling and laughing and joking with the kids. So.
Any discussion about anything bad going on?
He didn't tell me anything bad going on, no.
If there would have been something bad going on, did you have the type of relationship where he would have discussed it with you?
He would have eventually, but he probably wouldn't have brought it up right then at lunch. But anyway, so he would have probably tried to talk to me in private rather than,
Instead of in front of the boys?
Yeah.
Were you aware of any problems that Todd and Linda were experiencing in their marriage?
As far as, nobody told me anything. That I didn't think it was turning into a very good relationship by then. Just more tension between the two of them. That Thanksgiving, he came to Thanksgiving, him and the 3 boys came to where we were all at family-wise, and she went with the girls someplace else. So that's holidays like that where it was getting iffy whether they'd both be coming together or not.
And traditionally, are holidays a big thing in your family?
Yes.
And usually everybody comes together?
We usually come together, yes.
Did Todd, was he a physically fit man at the time of his death?
Yes, he had very little body fat. He was in good shape. He wanted to play sports all the time, and he couldn't do anything. At that age, he was 42, that he played 110%. He was very active.
Did he get involved in any coaching?
He coached, yes, his kids, he coached a whole lot. And a lot of people, and Lawrence and everything, really, there's always going to be the naysayer, but most of them all liked him, and the kids liked him. He loved kids, and he was good with them.
Did he have any physical limitations?
No, he'd had a couple of knee surgeries from skiing and whatever sports things, but it didn't seem to slow him down much.
No. So you didn't notice that it slowed him down when he had those knee surgeries?
No. He was still out running bases and playing basketball, so.
Even after his surgeries?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When did you first hear about the fire?
Sunday night, later in the afternoon.
Later in the afternoon?
Evening, actually. It was evening.
And when you heard about it, what did you do?
After I talked to the detective, my sister was over there at my house, and we got in the car and drove out to Lawrence.
And did you actually get to go to the house?
We didn't go to the house. I drove down by the house, and then we found out that Linda and the boys were at a neighbor's house, and so we went over there.
So you went with the boys? Okay. Okay. And so did you ever go out to the scene that day?
Not that, I mean, I saw it from the road.
Okay.
But the driveway was a mess, and the fire trucks were still in there, and there was police, and I couldn't go down. I mean, I don't know what I could have seen if I'd have went down there, really. But.
And so then, did you have an opportunity, well, where did the boys go after the fire?
They were at this neighbor's house. I think I don't remember his name now, but he had come over after the fire, and then and Linda and the boys are all there by then. Ashley had come, her daughter. And
Who's Ashley?
Ashley?
Yeah, who's Ashley?
Linda's daughter.
Okay. Was she
by
living?
her first marriage. What?
Okay. Was she living in the house at the time?
I don't believe she was. No, she wasn't living there. She might have stayed there some of the time, but she wasn't living there.
Okay. And after the fire, did Linda and the boys live with you?
No, I was in a one-bedroom apartment. They spent that night with me, and most of the next day and whatever, but then they moved out back to Lawrenceburg. They were going to go back to school.
Okay. Did you talk to Linda about what had happened?
I tried, yes.
So, do you remember the first time that you tried talking to her about what happened?
Yeah. I asked what happened, right? Basically. She said she was in the basement and doing laundry, and that Todd hollered at her to get out or something. There was 3 different stories that I heard within 2 days about how she got out of the house. So I'm not really, they kind of mix up in my head now after 18 years. But one of them was that she went out through the slider and ran around the house and tried to get in the front door, and there was too much fire. Then she told me another time that she came up the stairs and there was too much, and so she went back down now. And then the third one was she got up there, but she couldn't get in the living room where Todd was at, and so she went out through the front door.
So when you say the slider door, what door was that?
In the basement. It was a walkout basement with,
Did she tell you where Todd was at the time?
Well, she said it, first of all, she told me, he was in the living room and he was on fire. So.
And she told you he was in the living room when she saw
and then
him?
I got to remember, we'd get just to a certain point, and then she'd start getting all hysterical or whatever. So I'd just back off. I wasn't being confrontational anyway. I just wanted to know what happened.
So the first time you said that she said she was in the basement, did she say what she was doing in the basement?
She said she was doing laundry.
And did she tell you where Todd was at that time?
But he wasn't feeling good, and he was upstairs.
Did she tell you anything about a fire in the fireplace?
Yes, she said there was a fire. He was sitting in his chair up there and had a fire in the fireplace.
And then she said, I just want to be clear, you said that she yelled, or that she heard Todd yell something?
For her to get out. One time, that was one thing she told me. So.
And then she tried to get up the steps, and that was when she couldn't get out?
Well, like I said, she told me 3 different ways she got out of the house, so I don't know which time was which.
So the time that she said she didn't get up the stairs, did she say why she didn't get up the stairs?
Said there was too much smoke and flame.
And did she say if she saw Todd at that time? Is that a no?
No, I'm sorry.
So she said she didn't see Todd, or didn't she tell you anything?
I don't think she said she got, because I don't think she could get up there far enough, supposedly, to see.
And then she said at one time that she went upstairs and she saw him, right?
Yes.
And then what door did she say she went out at that time?
She went out through the front.
The front door, which would have been in the house?
Yes.
Okay.
There was also another exit off the kitchen. She never used that, but there's a lot of ways out of the house.
Was the exit off the kitchen, what side, was that on the side of the house, the back of the house, the front of the house?
The one in the kitchen?
Yeah,
was toward the back of the house. It was like off the kitchen in the back of the house.
And that would have been, the door
And I
would have
don't
gone-
think there was any steps there, but I think Todd, that must be the way Todd got out.
Well, and I'm not going to ask you about that because obviously you weren't there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she said, so the one time she said that she went out the front door, did she say she saw Todd that time?
You know, Susan, I can't tell you which one time she told me what. I mean, they were all right together. It was like one day she told me two different ways that she tried to get out or did get out, and then another way that she got out. So it's all here. I mean, you know.
Yeah. And then I just want to be clear, then one time she said she didn't see Todd and one time she said she did see Todd.
I'm sure she told me she saw Todd.
And you said that those all happened within how many days from the fire? Those 3 different accounts.
At the day of and the next day.
So between those 2 days,
Yeah, and I quit asking.
did you ever talk to her about the van and driving the van? No? Did she ever tell you why she was driving the van?
Said she didn't have a phone.
Did she ever tell you, or did you ever ask if she saw Todd outside?
I didn't, because I won't elaborate. I didn't.
And she never said anything about that? Was there a time that you were talking to her in those 2 days where you were at Kate Swift's house?
No, that was later.
That was later. So how much later was that?
Probably within a week, because Brad and Kelly, I think, were with me.
So who's Brad?
My son.
Your son.
Other son.
And that'd be Todd's brother?
Yes.
And what was the conversation with Linda? What did Linda say at that conversation with Brad and at Kate Swift's house?
Well, the kids were he was trying to question her, and she just got all hysterical, and went off to the basement or the bathroom, and I just followed her in, but she didn't say anything.
So as soon as she was questioned, she began to hyperventilate and became hysterical and didn't want to talk?
Yeah.
Did Linda ever talk to you about her marriage?
Not really, no. I mean, if she did, it would have been to complain about something,
On those conversations after the fire, did she ever talk to you about her filing for divorce or wanting a divorce?
Not to me.
Did you know anything about Todd and Linda's financial status?
Not good, pretty shaky.
And how did you know that?
Well, I lent him some money.
How much money?
Do I have to say?
Was it over $20,000?
Yes.
And during the course of their marriage, how many times did you have to lend them money?
Well, Todd and I worked together, on different things. I wanted to make sure they had a house to live in, for one thing. So I would sometimes bail him out make sure he got ahead of payment. And then he was very good about paying me back. It's just at the end here, when he was working really hard, trying to get the house done, that I lent him the larger sum. I had no doubt, but he would have just kept paying until he paid it back. I never thought he ever wouldn't.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Ms. Stermer.
Good morning, Ms. Stermer.
Good morning. What is, this thing is, I'm hearing noises coming from behind me here. From this, I guess.
Another guy, maybe we'll try.
Well, maybe if I just,
Was it the noise of this moving this?
it's weird.
Is it, are you hearing it now?
What now?
Are you hearing it now,
Yeah.
the noise?
Can you hear?
No? So we'll try a different headset for you.
Sorry. I don't know how this one goes on.
Under your chin. Sound okay?
We'll see. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Let's see if it works. Your turn.
Good morning, Ms. Stermer. Can you hear me?
Hi, good morning, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll be brief, Ms. Stermer. You stated that your son was very skilled in building. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he had been an apprentice. Is that I understand?
He was a apprentice for an electrician.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Can we move your microphone down again?
Oh, I'm sorry.
See?
Sorry.
Pull that microphone down.
Okay.
Hold it right there. See the microphone? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
There's sound issues in here.
I'm electronically challenged.
But you apprentice for an electrician, is that right?
Yes, he was. And he also, he just was one of those guys that could look at a blueprint and he'd measure and he just was a perfectionist along those lines. He'd remodeled a couple of houses along the way and that he'd sold, and he'd learned. He was a smart kid.
Well, was this the first house that you
That he built from scratch.
that he built from scratch? Is that right?
Yes.
And you were very proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was always proud of my sons anyway, all daughters and whatever, but yes, I was proud of him.
So when he told you that he was going to build this first house from scratch, did you help him financially in reference to the?
Not right at first. I mean,
Okay.
it was later on he got, when he was getting into the closing stuff and he'd already put a lot of money into it that
Okay.
he had, that I helped him out some.
Had you ever spent the night at the new house that he built?
Did I?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, okay. But you knew? Did you know the geographics of the house on the inside? You did.
Yes, I'd been out there a lot.
Okay. Okay. It was upstairs.
I was probably upstairs only about once because I've had both hips replaced.
Right, okay.
Stairs are a little challenge.
Yes, I understand. But he had a fireplace. Did he ever express to you which part of the house was more passionate to him than the other?
No, not to me.
Okay. When you were speaking with Linda right after the unfortunate demise of your son, was she still hysterical to you as far as processing the whole incident?
She pretty much, when we got back to my apartment, I gave her my room. He fixed her up with, whatever. And she just went in there and stayed in there, and I was out in the living room with the boys, and so.
Okay. And the lunch that you and your son and your grandsons y'all had, the only reason why Linda wasn't there is because she was at work?
They said she was at work or she was doing something. I mean, she worked periodically. She worked at different jobs, and she did a lot with a lot of horses. And so I don't remember especially, but I'm thinking it was work that they thought that said they, So.
Did you know about the horses?
The horses?
Yes.
I knew something about the horses, yes.
Beg pardon?
What? I
see.
knew about the horses.
You knew about the horses. Okay. So, would it be fair to say that your son or Linda, they didn't use you as a sounding board for any family affairs, right?
No, Pratt. I know Todd. I had talked to Todd at different times. We used to ride to ball games a lot. His kids were real active, and I tried to go to as much as I could. And he had trying to get my thoughts straight. Anyway, he said he found out some things, but I don't think I ought to bring them up here. I mean, about whatever, about their marriage. I mean, he found out that she hadn't told him exact truth about a lot of things before they got married.
Before they got married?
Yeah.
Okay.
And after they were married, a few more things popped up, whatever. But he was trying. He just told me he was going to try, and he wanted to be the best husband he could be. So he was going to stick with it, and did want to be a weekend dad. And that's where we pretty much left it. He didn't come and cry to me that Linda's doing this, that, or the other thing. No, that wouldn't have been him.
Okay.
He would have never. Okay. He would, if they were really getting a divorce, he would have come to me and told me eventually that, well, we're getting a divorce, and I probably would have heard over that weekend, actually, if she was really leaving. So, okay. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Stermer.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify. When the house that Todd built had a basement level, right?
And an upper level too.
So
Loft or
a
whatever.
loft. So when
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I probably went up to the loft maybe once.
Okay. So was it like a loft that overlooked the living room?
Seems like it had stairs going up. It wasn't overlooking anything.
Okay, so you hadn't gone upstairs, meaning the loft.
Right. I had been on the first 2 floors, yes.
So you were on the main level, and is that where the kitchen, the living room, and everything was at, on the main level?
We used to, yeah, like at Christmas, we played cards down in the basement.
So you'd also been in the lower level,
Oh,
in
yeah.
the basement?
Yeah,
So really, the only level you didn't go to was the loft?
yeah.
Okay, and I just wanted to be clear. And I just wanted to touch base, the evening of the fire, you said that you sat with the boys?
Actually, what I remember is sitting on the kitchen floor with Trevor. And we just sat there almost all night.
On the kitchen floor?
Yeah.
What were you doing on the kitchen floor?
Crying and talking and just supporting each other.
And Linda was not involved in this at all?
She was in the bedroom.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any follow-up, Mr. Carter?
No, Your Honor.
Jury, do you have any questions of this witness? I'll have you raise your hand. No? Okay. Is she excused from persecuting counsel?
Your Honor, I would ask that she be excused.
Have not touched it, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. You're done. Any assistance can you come next time?
I can get down, okay?